Hey guys, I have here a neat little 60cc saw. It's a Dolmar 6100. Thought I would kind of give a quick little overview of it, some of the features and some of the things that are interesting about these. So I'll just get started. One thing that I really like about this saw is it has an easy start. So it pulls really easy. It's spring assisted. It's not a preload spring where you have to pull it once and then it helps. It just assists during the pull. It also has increased lower ignition spark. So at lower idles it sparks up hotter. So it starts easier, which make it really simple to start. It also has a primer bulb, which again you can purge out all the air in the fuel line. Makes it easy starting. So if you don't want to pull your shoulder out, a lot of 60cc saws, they either have a decompression valve to push or something like that. You don't have that, so it makes it easy, especially for starting and stopping. If you do that frequently, just a little less wear and tear on your shoulder. Makes it a little easier. Another thing that's kind of interesting is their caps. They don't have flippy caps like some other brands have went to. They've kept the screw caps. The way that these work, if they get too tightened or anything, you can use your scrunch or some other tool and use that as leverage to open that up, to close it. And just tighten it down. Seals up really well. The fuel tank on this thing is ginormous. 27 ounces of fuel. So excellent runtime. Just, great capacity. The oil tank is up front with like 16 ounces of capacity. So very nice in those aspects. Another thing that's really interesting, or not interesting, but neat, the single control, which is functional, nice, easy to get to from, on the grip. One thing that a lot of people point out is the quick stop. So you just push it down, it kills the motor, and then it's auto return to on. You can push it all the way down for off. One feature that a lot of people don't mention or don't know of is for high idle, you actually just flip this up to choke and then straight back down. Now it's on high idle. So if you need to high idle to warm start it or something like that, and if you listen, you can hear it disengage there. So pretty neat little setup, single button, which I've always kind of liked that, but realistically having separate choke for on off isn't that big a deal either. The air filter cover is held on with spring caps or spring tabs. They flip off with your scrunch or screwdriver or anything. One thing that's just amazing on this, or that I really like, is the air filtration. It is second to none. This saw is in direct competition with like the Stihl MS 362 and Husqvarna 562 XP. So it's marketed towards some really top end saws, and the air filtration on this is second to none. I mean, the Husqvarna can't even come close to this. Cleaning wise on, is nice, easy. Your cylinder heads there, easy to blow it out, clean it out, down to your flywheel. Another nice thing about the air filtration is the seal that is on it. This rubber seal is pliable enough that it just, when you screw it on there, it's on there. There's nothing getting in or around it. Just seals wonderfully. It is a washable filter, kind of like a KN style filter. So you can wash it, clean it out, and let it dry, reuse it. So really nice that way. An interesting thing on this particular saw is it's a stratified motor. So what that means is it's adding extra air. The bottom hole there is your carburetor, so you can see the choke run. The top hole there is what adds an extra bit of air, and it adds that into your combustion chamber on some cool little feature. It's kind of, you'll just have to look it up, trust me, it's cool. But as you open the throttle up, about 3/4 of the way, it starts opening up that. And then it just opens right on up. and that's allowing extra air to go in. It mixes into the cylinder and gives it a lot more efficient burn, which is very nice to have. Another thing I'll point out is the isolation springs. This has at least 4 that I know of. They work superbly well. The saw is just extremely smooth. You can see another one down behind the fuel tank there, and there's 2 more underneath the saw that help isolate everything, but it's not done to the point to where it feels flimsy. Some saws just feel flimsy. This one does not. I've had a 24-inch bar on it. It oils it fine. It doesn't feel weak and stuff. With some saws, they don't have a good balance between isolation and sturdy feeling. This feels very solid, but yet is extremely smooth. The adjustable oiler, right there, little diagram punched into the side to show, which way plus or minus. Like I said, I've had a 24-inch bar on it. I put it in some oak today and seemed to oil it just fine. Another thing I can point out is how open it is for getting sawdust chips out. It's very smooth, very clean, just dumps them out. I noodled with it in some oak today and was just not a single problem. It's not like some saws with an outboard clutch. It's easy to get to. It's easy to, just flow the chips right through. The side cover has a nice little stamp, if I can focus in there. Nice little stamp, shows, if you don't know how the chain goes on, shows how it goes on, which direction it's going. Nice, big, clear, which is pretty neat. I mean, a lot of saws have something like that, but, for anybody who's questioning which direction it goes, there you go. Like I was saying, how that cleans out is there's no excess nooks and crannies for sawdust to get into. It's clean, nice, solid plate here. It doesn't have a stupid outboard clutch like Husqvarna, so if you ever do get your saw bind up or pinched or anything, you can easily take the bar off, remove your power head, get it to a safe location, safe place, so you aren't having to work around it or put your power head at risk. I think that's, at least for me, 1, 2, 3 times a season, I always get my bar pinched somewhere, and I'd rather save my power head than, have to worry about trying to get a clutch off and everything else, and it's just a hassle. The inside of the cover, again, very smooth, open, just flows straight through. Real nice. Side tension adjuster, pretty commonplace anymore on saws. Works very well. Easy to get to. Side tensioner works very well. It's easy to get to, access on the outside. I always kind of liked how Dolmar has this, just kind of cleans up the line of the saw. Looks neat to me. One thing I don't know if I like or dislike is the bucking spikes, felling spikes. There's only a single one. Some people would say that, it needs 2 or would prefer to have 2. It's personal preference. You can order a set if you Google search it. They're thick, they're solid, just that crazy wicked, carnival style throwing star thing is just kind of crazy. They do work well, but you do lose some excess bar space because they are so large. The exhaust, it does not have a catalytic muffler, so it doesn't have to get extremely hot to burn off the excess gases. With the stratified engine the way it is, it burns them off in the motor efficiently, where you're getting better fuel mileage, so to speak. Magnesium case, very solid. When you grab hold of it, you have a saw. You don't have some flimsy little piece of plastic or anything. The brake is easy to engage, disengage. I like that. Some saws are a little more difficult. I use my bar lock quite a bit. It is a double-sided post. One thing that, slightly concerned with is how much play there is off of that side. I mean, just the plastic has some flex. It's not terrible, but just a little bit more than what I would like. But anyways, that's the Dolmar 6100. Starts easy, runs just fantastic. Like I said, it's marketed towards your Husqvarna 562 XP and the stihl MS362, and realistically this saw will hang with those all day long. The weight is like 13 pounds 22, or 13.22 pounds, so it's not heavy at all. In fact, I would almost, for me, it's almost too narrow at the top to hold on to. It's not uncomfortable, but any narrower it would be. I like having a little bit of leverage inside and out and stuff, and just it's more comfortable for me. So yeah, it's nice, narrow, agile, and just really screams. Anyways, I'll try to get some videos together with it cutting and stuff and let you see that. Thanks for watching, and be careful.